Kids. Good morning. Mark Miller here. Rory is not with us today. Just adjusting my mic volume right here. Let me know if that's looks like okay, not clipping too much. Today we're going to work on the editing experience for our event handlers for our spells. Let me get you a different view here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right up here, we've got a number of different spells and or features, and some of those have event handlers, and that event handler has code. And what I want to do is I want to make this part right here easier to work with. In some ways, I kind of want to I want to bring up features that you'd see in a modern editor. For example, IntelliSense is one of the things on my list. Syntax highlighting is one of the things on my list. Templates are one of the things on my list. And so that's kind of where I'm playing with right now. I'm kind of playing with the idea of implementing a templating engine today with this. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. That's what I want to play in. This is the space I want to play in today. So that's what we're going to do. Welcome. All right. So let's close this down because this one I just started up by itself. I'm not actually running. Let's run it. Let's start making a couple changes to it while it's running. And I think the first thing I want to do is I just want to make that font be a fixed width font, a fixed pitch font. That's what I want to do. Initialize player data. I'll drop the scroll in a second. Yeah, I wanted to just kind of come over here and take a look at it. Here you can see some of the code. In the Google spreadsheet, the Google Sheet, we've actually changed the font in these particular columns to be fixed pitch font. And I think that improves the readability, gives it a sense that it's more like code. It's not quite syntax highlighting yet, but it's not bad. So let's do that. One of my favorite features in Visual Studio is XAML hot reload. Looks like I have to select one of these, and there we go. That's the editor right there. I also want to change this list right here. This list, I've got two different lists here, and both of these lists drive this third one. It's kind of like master detail with two master columns in it. I want to combine these two together. These are spells right here, and these are features. I just want to put them in one long list because and I want to differentiate them with an icon or something like that. So I'm going to kind of work over in this area too, because I'm not a fan of these two being switched like this. At least that's kind of what my thought was when we started this. When I was starting this morning, I was thinking about it. All right, so let's go find this thing. Is it code? I think it's this one right here. TBX code. That's what I think it is. Font family, Consolis, and I kind of want to get these both on screen at once. As I make this change, there we go. You see an update over here? Oh, so it switched it. It just does it. Wait, that doesn't. It's not actually changing the font. So is the font family wrong here? That's definitely not Consolis. Similarly, no change there. Am I modifying the wrong property? Is it something other than font family? Okay, that has an impact. What's interesting is the font family is not seemingly changing it based on what I'm seeing here. I wonder if a restart will fix that. I wonder if we've found like a weird kind of thing with XAML hot reload. Let's try running it again. Initialize player data. There we go. It looks like XAML hot reload couldn't change the font family. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a known limit on that. XAML hot reload and font family.
We need your help.
Hot reload. Genesis 2.7's here, everybody. Here to save the day. Look out! Boom! It's weird. I'm not sure if this is an issue I should report or not. Let's try one more time to change that font family. Consolis, let's change it to Arial. That seemed to work. Let's undo it. Go back to Consolis. And then it's not going back. Am I imagining this? Let me restart this and make sure. Let's actually see what's going on down here in the designer. Well, we can't actually. We have to put some sort of text in here and get that page up. It's up. Test. That's Consolis. All right, works here. XAML hot reload does not appear to handle the font family change here. What do I got? 10:11 on the clock. Let's make a note. I'm going to go bring this to the attention of folks at Microsoft and see what they think about this. XAML hot reload fails to recognize change to font family. Okay. All right. I got a text changed event here. I think I want to implement templates. I need an expansion key that I need to watch for. I need a couple things. I actually need like a handful of at least minimum things to make this work. I do need a key change event. Let's go into the text changed event though. Let's set a breakpoint here. And let's bring it up. Change it internally. I actually want my breakpoint down here probably, but now that I've got the breakpoint, I can come out here and get like a hook to, I need a couple things here. I guess I need a key pressed. Key down. New event handler. And I think we need like is our selection changed? Good. Selection changed, I'm hoping, is also going to be fired when, so selection is composed of an anchor and a caret point that's active that moves around. That's typically what happens. So the anchor stays in one place. Like for example, here I click down here, right there. That's my anchor. And now as I move around, it's the active caret position. So that's how I define a selection. So I'm hoping that in selection change, that's also fired when I just move the caret. Like this, move it around. I'm hoping that's the case. There might be an event called caret. Is there anything with a caret moved? No, let's look at only events. Let's turn on IntelliRush here. So we've got CodeRush helping us out here. Hit the control, tap the control key and then hit the letter E to only bring up events and see what we can get here. We also might be able to slice the hierarchy. Oh, I think I've reported this bug before. Let's do it again, though. We're dog food in CodeRush. The hierarchy is not found. You can go back about 10 seconds before the link here. The hierarchy is not found. So watch what's happening here. I bring up IntelliRush, tap the control key, say, let's look only at the hierarchy, hit the H key, and it just says searching. Right? So I'm in a text box. I want it to know I'm in a text box. Grab the events only from the part of the hierarchy I'm trying to slice from. I'm at a breakpoint right now, by the way. I could go over to the code just to show you what I'm talking about here. Hey, Codebase Alpha. Subscribe to Tier 1. Subscribe for 10 months. Codebase Alpha. Good friends. Okay, so let's look at this right over here. Told you, Codebase Alpha. I get the most exercise on this show of any time I get sitting down here for the most part. I do have a walking desk though. What am I going to do here? I wanted to get, I want to come in here and I want to say text box. I just want to see if I can get the same thing over here from text box. Let's just say call it T out here, and then I want to say T dot, and I want to tap the control key. It looks like I've got the scroll in the way, but those moves. See if we can get a test close to work on that. There we go. Okay, so I want to come in here and I want to say T dot, and then I want to tap the control key, say H for hierarchy. It can't find it here? Come on. All right, guys. That's a serious issue there. I need that fixed. Let me report that issue. IntelliRush not finding XAML hierarchies. Like that. There's the issue. Send the log files over. Devs, get on that. Find out what's going on, because I want that right now. I want to look at only the events inside of TextBox. Whoops, I just hit stop. Not realizing what I was clicking on. All right, so let's go back and we'll find it by hand since we can't do it otherwise. By the way, we were in an edit and continue phase on that, Debs, when you're looking at that. All right, so we want to tap Control key, hit E for events, look at only the events in here. And I'm looking for something like the caret moved. I'm hoping selection changed is fired when the caret is moved. That's what I'm looking for. Otherwise, we'll have to manually do it in our key down. We can make that happen. All right, folks just coming in, what we're doing, I'm creating a templating system for the text box so I can write code in there a little faster. My goal is to be able to write code for the problem here. Here, let me show you here. The problem is that while it's very clever to hold all of our data out here in the spreadsheet, editing this is not easy. And I want to make creating and editing the Dungeons and Dragons rule set much easier. So what we're going to do is we're working on a templating system. We're going to try and create a quick and dirty templating engine for the text box. That's what we're going to do. All right. So I'm just setting up the events is all I'm doing right now. So I've got a key down event. I've got a selection changed event, and I have a text changed event. I'm going to take my text change event and I'm going to grab it and move it down here just so they're all kind of collectively together. Coders for D&D rules. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for here. Pasted that in the wrong spot. There we go. All right, so we got our text changed. We got our key down, selection changed. Let's, I guess, set some breakpoints. Let's run it. Yeah, I want to get IntelliSense in there too, because documenting these rules, and documenting how to, maybe not documenting the rules, but maybe it's more accurate to say documenting what we've got available. Like for example, this called a roll dice. I want that discoverable, and IntelliSense is a great discovery tool. So I want to be able to type in RO and see roll dice suggested. This is kind of what I want, where I'm getting at with this, right? Also, all the other things that we add. These pieces are all available. Roll dice, add damage resistance. These are available and known at runtime. Some of them are coming from functions we've defined over here, like this and this, these two functions. Some are coming from properties we've defined right here. But still, I know these at runtime, so I should be able to type in ATT and get suggestions for attack is melee or attack is ranged. That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? We're building this for, essentially one person is what we're doing. But I'm hoping through the exploration of this and playing in this space that we come up with, we encounter, both ways to get some reasonable success, as well as we hit discussions on usability and what's the best way to solve these particular problems. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. Syntax highlighting would be a great step, right? Imagine how much easier these would be to read if syntax highlighting was there. The other place that IntelliSense can collect data from is over here in the core expressions in these sections here. Every single one of these classes that ends with the word function, and I said classes, these are really files, but the files have the same names as their classes. So all of these descendants of D&D function, that's something that I can type in. I can type in add rechargeable right there. I can grab its name, find out what it is. That means if I type in add, this should be one of the suggestions. And so all of this is available to me, but it's not so easily readily available like in my mind when I'm writing these out. In fact, I even built on the spreadsheet, I built a reference page that had some essentially documentation on things that I was finding hard to look up or remember. And so these are pieces, things I can use inside of strings, for example, that I've built. So similarly, would like to be able to support these as well, right? We get IntelliSense in there. We get IntelliSense that's really intelligent, that's smart about the different things that I can do. Did you feed those dogs? Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, then we're, I think, moving in the right direction. Okay. Got our breakpoints. We're running right now. Got some fantastic ambition here. This is going to be impressive. Well, I don't know, code beats alpha. I think it's going to be, my goal is to get things kind of crudely working. Now, you know, I know the difference, like, you know, for template engines, I've actually built template engines like a couple times. I built one template engine about 20 years ago and another one about, what was it, about 2003. And my 2003 engine was better than my one before that. And so I know what it's like to build it, and it's part of CodeRush. It's essentially one of the main features of CodeRush, and it's widely considered the best templating engine for developers. That's my understanding, based on feedback that we've received, and feedback we've seen out in the public. I've not seen anything that says anybody else's is better than CodeRush. So, and the only reason I say that is because I know what it takes to create a product that you sell. Right, we're not going to build that, but what I think we'll do is, as we get to the crude, you know, kind of launching point for what works, I'll point in the direction of what it takes to get it to the next level. I'll say, well, here's what we're not going to do. Here's what it would take to take it to the next level, that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we're going to go. That's what we're going to play with today, at least. Hopefully, by the end of the day, I'll have templates expanding in some crude way at the end of the show. So, yeah, got our breakpoints, text changed, no breakpoint on that yet. We also have, by the way, the ability, we added this a few shows ago, the ability here, let's go ahead and click this, bring up one of these, the bold pieces are there, selection changed. Interesting. Okay, run it. All right, I'm cool with that. All right, we have the ability to update directly. So now I'm on the mage hand, just to demonstrate that real quickly, I'm on mage hand on casting event handler. That means if we go over into our spells right here, let's hide the scroll. Okay. So we'll go over to our spells in the spreadsheet and we search for mage hand. 2 words. There it is right there. And let's look for its events. Here we go. So here's what happens on casting there. Okay. So if we come back over here, we're on casting and we come in, selection changed. That's really good news. I want to just do one more. Click up here. Nice. So we know now that this is called, this is also called whenever the caret moves. That's beautiful. That's exactly how I'd want it to do, to run there when the caret moves. Done. Okay, run. All right. We're going to get some hits over here on the key down, so I'm going to clear that breakpoint. All right. So now I can come in here, say Mark was here, like this. Click on Update Mage Hand, and now if we switch over here. There it is right there. You can see it right there. Okay. So we have the ability to update this. We're using the Google Sheets essentially as a database is what we're doing. Because, I do, atypical things here on the show. So we have the ability to save. So if we have the ability to save, we get to a point where we're going to have syntax highlighting on it. Not sure if I'm not promising that yet. But we might, that's certainly my intent is to get there. I'm a database programmer now. You're right. Absolutely. We are going to take this to a new level right here. So let's talk about a couple things here. One of the things from a UI standpoint, just that's now getting my attention, is the proximity right here from the letters to the border. And similarly up here, it's tight. It's really tight. And why is that important? Because our brains recognize letters based on something called features. So for example, a feature might be the end of a line right there, or a feature might be an intersection of 2 lines. or a feature might be a curve, something along those lines, like a curve right up here. Now, to recognize these, there's something that's going on with letters, is there's a distance between the letters here that gives us a sense that, wait, this is not part of this letter, but it is the next letter. And that distance right here between the letters, you can see it right up in that space there, that distance is about the same as this distance here. Which means if my eyes are here and I'm trying to recognize something, this part, hold on, let's go back out, go back in. This part of the image that hits my brain right there may be momentarily confused as a potential letter, which is going to require a saccade and eye movement to get over there and take a look at it. It's going to realize it's not a letter. The brain is going to get a little irritated with that, and the brain is going to solve that irritation, is going to build a filter and going to say, ignore that, right? So that's essentially what's happening. Now, some of that is speculation based on awareness of my own brain. You may be totally fine with this, but for me, I'm telling you that's too close. What we need to do, that distance from there to there needs to be a width, the width of a space and a half is what it needs to be. So I'm just going to add a space here manually right here. It needs to be like that, and then similarly around the top as well. So we need to get some kind of padding in here. Let's go see what we can do to build that padding. That XAML hot reload should help us out for that. So I just use tab to next reference to get back out to here. Let's see if it's got a padding property. I've noticed that some of these do not. Good, it does. Let's make it 8. Let's save that, see how that looks. Yeah, already much better, right? We've got the text coming in from that whole piece all the way around there. And I think it looks good. It's good. Okay. Next, I want to come down here and I want to type in if, and then I want to hit the space and I want to do something. Let's programmatically solve that problem first. See what we can do. I've got a text down, key down right here, and I have a selection changed, and I have a text changed. Let's run it. And let's see what happens first when I hit that space bar. So space, I get text change first. What's going on with that? Let me run it. I'm just going to use the mouse to click on buttons, so I want to make sure I don't pollute the keyboard cue. So I'm just going to hit continue here. Now I get selection change next. I never get the key down. Interesting. We need a different event, it looks like. Let's get a breakpoint. Is there a system key down? There's not. Is there a preview key down? And there is. Let's see if that thing gets triggered when I hit the space bar. There's my breakpoint. Let's run it. Run it. Space bar. Preview key down gets it. Okay, that's how we're going to hook it then. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, E dot, what do we got to play with in here? Handled. Sweet. So I want to say, hey, if key equals key dot space and no modifiers down. And I'll just declare that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say RB with the comma after it. That's going to be a read-only Boolean property. And then I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to say return. If I type in CKD like that, that should give me a control key down. And wait, let's do this. Hold on, I got a better idea. Let me undo this a second. Frank is there. Frank, how you doing, buddy? I want to create another one up here. So I'm going to do RB and comma, and I'm going to say any modifier down. Whoops. Down like that. Then I want to come down in here and I'm going to say return. Wait, I've got an even better idea. Hold on. Do another one of these. RB. This is what I'm doing. I'm just putting I'm putting markers here because I want to come back to these. So now up here I'm going to say control key down like this, and then I'm just going to simply come in here and I'm going to say return CKD like that, right? Then I'm going to come up here, do that one more time. RB Alt key down like that. Come in here and say return AKD like that. Return Alt key down, and then there's one more, the Shift, and I can also use duplicate selection to do the same thing. Come in here like this. We're going to say this is going to become Shift like that, and then this will be Shift. Look how well duplicate selection works for that. Okay, so now I've gotten that. Alt key down, Shift key down. Do I have another one of these already? It looks like I might. Looks like I do. Okay, cool. So I needed that one. I love, by the way, with that didn't continue, I can move code around and reorganize it. That's happy for me. Okay, so now I've got these pieces. Now I'm going to hit escape to pick up my marker. Any modifier down is going to be control key down, or alt key down, or shift key down, like that. That's any modifier down. And then I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, hit escape to come back. Whoops, I was right there. And I'm going to say return not any modifier down. Okay, so now I can come in here. If the key is a space and there's no modifiers down, then we can do something. So let's set a breakpoint here and just see if we get there. What's my edit problem? No errors. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Oh, wait, no, there we go. Moving a property? All right. I'm going to have to do some undo here. Really, moving a property. Is that because of initialization? All right, let's take this from any modifiers down to here. Copy it to the clipboard. And now let's undo, 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 undo. Until that property comes back up to where it was. Is that it? That's it. All right. And let's go back down to where we were. And I think we just need to grab to here and paste, and then get rid of the extra. Okay, a little sad. Or, better idea, let's just move, let's move all of these up close to shift key down. Nobody's going to be upset about that. Let's go find shift key down. Put it up here. All right, there we go. Okay. Hey, what's context? Editing what? The map document. Frank, sorry about that. Didn't bring you up to speed. We are working on a templating engine for a text box. So our code editor at runtime will behave more like CodeRush does. Because the code editor, this is not a code editor, so we want to be able to come in and write some code and expand templates. That's what we're going to do for right now. So we want a breakpoint here. Let's run it. Okay, cool. We're at a point where we got the expansion. Now we need to see what is to the left of the caret, of that space and location. I'm going to run it for right now. And I just want to get text code changed, selection changed. Okay, I just want to get, hold on, I'm going to keep hitting breakpoints here. Let me disable all my breakpoints for a second. Okay, run it. Let's get back to the starting point here. I want to hit the space bar because what I want is when I hit if, I want it to give me this with the caret here. That's going to be the simplest test, the first thing we do. If I type in if, that's what I want to get. And I hit the space bar, I want to get to that next point. So let's re-enable the breakpoints. Hit the space bar. All right. Now what I need to do is see what's to the left of this. I think what I want to do is say e.handled equals, and I want to expand template like that. And I think I want to pass in, is it going to be the sender? I think it's going to be, I think I'm going to just manually refer to the TBX code instance and pass it in to expand template. So we'll come up here. Hold on. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create a new class. I'm going to call this class the template engine. I think I'll make it an instance kind of thing. So let's come up here, create a new variable of that type. Let's also create a property of this type right up here. Let's do property with a read-only on that right there. So template engine, I'm going to call it template engine again, and then I want to say if that's null, then I want to say new instance on that thing right there. New instance with a comma after it will give me that. And then I want to return the template engine. Okay, so now I'm doing this mainly for edit and continue because edit and continue doesn't let me initialize right here. So I don't mind it. It's basically a lazy create. So now I can come in here now and I can say template engine dot expand template like that. And now I can come in here and I can say declare method. All right. So we need to know, so this is going to return a true or false. So this is going to say, returns true if the template was found and expanded, like that. All right, so we need to do a couple things on here. We need to see if there's a selection at this point. So we're going to say, let's figure out how do we get our selection from a text box. So caret index. Okay. Oh, show suggestions. Look at how long that took, by the way. Not so bad the second time because we haven't made any changes to the code, but the first time that took too long. Coders has a new feature that I haven't invoked yet. We'll try it out right now. The new feature allows us to execute refactorings by name. And let's go into my Marks custom, I guess. What's that? Why do I have this weird nothing binding? I must have come in and declared a shortcut and never did anything with it. Okay, so I'm going to make this, I think, Control-Alt-L for local. That's what I'm going to do. The command is going to be execute refactoring. And the parameters are going to be declare local. And what's cool about this is declare local is something I want to do a lot. I actually am questioning this Control-Alt-L shortcut because I'm wondering, is that too much? Because I do declare local all the time, should it be something easier to hit? Gosh, wouldn't it be great to do like caps lock or, you know, something like that, like a big dedicated button for declare local. You know, I do have one on the numeric keypad. I could do that. I like that. It's hard to hit because on the numeric keypad that one is but it's not too bad because it's next to the 0. I can find it just by tactically reaching for it. I'm going to do that. So execute factor and declare local. Let's see how that works for us. So I'm here. I'm going to hit the number 1. Look at that. So much faster, right? That's what I'm talking about, is this really fast way, right? This is faster because now we are not, because here's the thing. When I come in here, let's make the change. We come in here like this. Let's hit the key to, now I'm waiting, gathering suggestions. We're waiting not only for CodeRush to come up with these 4, but we're also waiting for these other 3, right? But it looks like declare local can be executed quickly. Let me try that again. I'm going to come in here, make a change, come out there, hit the 1. Oh, it's so much faster. Yeah, this is a very cool feature that we just got because, anyway, this is in the latest version of CodeRush. I'm liking that num1 binding, by the way, right now. That's, I think, going to work out really well. So there's caret index. Cool. Next, we're going to come in and we're going to see the selection index. So we got one of those. Anchor. Is there an anchor index? How do we get the selection? Selection length. I don't like that. Why is it? What? Coding Gorilla, how you doing, buddy? Glad to have you with us. Selection start and selection length. Here's what yeah, okay. Selection start. I don't like these. And the reason why I don't like these is because they imply that text box can only do selections from you know, start to end, but not end to start. In other words, as a programmer for this, I won't be able to detect that, where the anchor's on the right and the caret's on the left. But if I select this, it'll come back and say, what you really got is this. Why does that matter? Well, sometimes it does for things you want to do, is being able to do, hold on, let's get it right there. There we go. So now I've got the caret on the right and the anchor is over here on the left. So it looks, unless it supports a negative length, which I doubt it does. From the names, I'm a little bit worried in terms of what we're going to be able to, see and do in there. The other reason why this is important, we actually use this in CodeRush templates. But let's say, for example, that a template was going to select something for you to replace. If it selects in this manner, where I've got a start and a length. Wait. Maybe the caret index can be on either side though. Let's find out. Maybe that's the case. If that's the case, I'm going to be happier. Why? And let me not stress about this for now. Let's see what's going on. Let's set a big fat return false here. Let's get our other variables here. So we've got selection length. I'm going to hit the 1. Come on, give it to me. Look at that. Selection length, nice. And we're going to come in and say selection start, like that. And I'm going to hit the 1 again, enjoying this new CodeRush feature like crazy. And I'm going to set breakpoint here. And clear that one there. And clear this one. Actually, you know, it's probably better to do this. Interesting. I just hit undo, expecting those clearing of the breakpoints to come back, but realize that they only support undo if I've got a condition inside. What happened over here? It looks like there we go. Okay, selection start. All right, so now let's run it. Should get a breakpoint down in here. Caret index 221, selection length is 0, selection start is 221. Okay, that makes sense. All right, now what I want to do is I want to start defining, I want to select from here to here. And I don't even see the caret flashing here. Why is that? Is it because it's right at the edge? No caret flashing. Yeah, that's bad news. All right, let's see what happens though. Yeah, I don't like that either. Let's see I'm gonna hit the space bar now. And caret index and selection start are the same. All right, so let's undo that and let's select the other way and hit the space bar. And are they all the same? Oh, they're all the same. Okay, so disappointing. So the text box can only do selections from start to end, but not end to start. Why is that important? Because if I have a field, like for example, let's see, can I demonstrate it here? Here we go. Here's a demonstration of this. Okay, I'm just zooming in right now on the editor right here. Show you what's going on. Here I've got caret index as a selected field. Notice over here on the left, we've got the caret right there. See it flashing like that? I just hit the escape key. Let me bring it up here one more time. Do it one more time. Hit enter here. There's the caret on the left. The flashing caret, it's a sense of movement on an otherwise static field. So our eyes are attracted to the flashing, which means our eyes are over here. Out of this whole thing, our eyes are more likely on the left than they are on the right. If our eyes are on the left and we start typing, watch what happens. Eyes still on the left don't need to move. If our eyes are on the right and we start typing, and especially if it's long, watch what happens. This is suddenly replaced. And now we've got to move our eyes back over here. So we don't want the caret ever on the right when we've got a selection that's about to be replaced, which is an important nuance when you're building a templating engine, something we learned, I don't know, I want to say like 10 years ago, but it's important, and it seems like it's relatively unique to CodeRush. Still, it seems like a lot of people don't understand that that's important. Okay, so we've now got the ability at least to find, we have rudimentary selection abilities. Now, at this point, I want to say, hey, look, if selection length, I can probably unzoom here a little bit. Selection length is not equal to 0, then we have a selection of some kind, so we're going to return false. Okay. Next, I don't care about selection start really, to be honest. I don't need that. Not for expanding the template. Next, I want to see what's to the left of the text box. So how can we get that? Text box, do we have a get text call? Get line text. Hold on a second. I might have a CodeRush issue here. Yeah, let's report this. So take a look at this. I'm using IntelliRush. I've typed in text box. I'll do it again here. Text box dot, typing in get line text. And I'm hovering and I'm not seeing any tooltip for this. That's what I'm looking for. Let's turn this off. Do the same thing with Visual Studio. Get line text. And look what Visual Studio does. It gives me this. That's IntelliRush, guys. Got to fix that. Find out what's going on and fix it. IntelliRush. Not showing tool tips. There we go. Boom. Bug reported. It's that simple. Okay, so we're going to come back in here. We're going to say get line text. I think what are its parameters? Line index. It's not what I want. What else do I have that's like a get text in it? Come on. Isn't there a get text by index? What's going on here? WPF text box. Yeah, I'm not using a rich text box. Not yet. Let's try offset. Hold on, this might be it. I feel like I'm not doing the right search term. Offset in length. Well, that's how to select, sorry. Is it really not here? All right, let's just do this. All right, Coding Gorilla says that's how to do it. I don't like that because that means I got to maintain a lot more code. Do I have at least the current line number I'm on? Oh, get line index from character index. Fine, I'll take that. That's cool. All right, so now what we can do is we can use this to turn it into a line and offset kind of thing. So we're going to do this right here. Whoops, I hit the wrong key. I hit num0. That's an old habit. Let's come back over to it. I'm going to hit the 1. That's my new habit right there. Look at how fast it is. So we're going to say, call this line index right there. Yeah, this is substantially going to be increasing my code speed, this new feature. Okay, line index. And then I want to say text box dot get line text, passing in line index like that. I did it again. I hit num0 when I want to hit num1 right there. It's going to take some training. There we go. There's my line text. Then I want to a new variable that's going to be our line offset. And that's equal to I need the offset from the start of the line is what I needed. How do I get the offset of the line? Do I have an offset for the start of the line? Wouldn't that be awesome? Nope. Index. Get character index from line index. That's what I want. Okay. And this is going to take in my line index. So it's kind of interesting. It looks like it's the opposite of this, but this gets the first character. All right, we're kind of working through what we need to get. I'm going to hit my num1 key. Thought I hit num1. Let's try it again. Num1. So it's, why is that? We're not working there because I'm in the comment. It was because I was in the comment. Okay. Line start index. Okay. So now my line offset is equal to my caret index minus my line start index, which now, so let's come back up in here. Yeah, I just mapped it a few minutes ago, Codebase Alpha. You can map it to whatever you want. I was originally going to throw it at Control-Alt-L. That's what I was going to do. I put it up here in my custom right here. That's what I did. And I just bound it to execute refactoring parameters declare local. So this is something I did today on the show because I wanted to use this new feature. This is a feature we actually spec'd out and asked for on this show. a while back. So you can, just hit Control-Alt-L or whatever you want, declare local to be. You type in your parameter, you type in the name of the refactoring you want to execute. You can get the refactoring names out on, I think, catalog, code actions catalog. So any of these you can bind to keystrokes. Just got to get the name here. Hold on, let me do a feature request here. Kids, what I really want is to be able to right-click one of these and choose copy refactoring name, or copy provider name, copy action name. That's what I want. So that all I have to do is come in here, copy that name, right-click it, copy it, and then come back over to where I was, which was in my shortcuts. Over here. And then I can paste it in right here. That's what I want to do. So that's my feature request. Please add that in the future. Copy action name. So it's easier to do that. Being able to just hit Control-C on the line would be useful in the same regard. Absolutely. Control-C on that line should just copy it. And it should give you some feedback that it's copying it. Right? So if we come in here and we select that and hit copy, it should say, give us feedback that says action name copied to clipboard. Or alternatively, in quotes, create event trigger, copied to clipboard. So just to be clear what that hint should look like in this case, hold on a second. Yeah, that's great discoverability. I want it like this. So when I copy that, I want a little window that comes up. When I hit copy here, create event trigger, copied to clipboard. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, thanks so much. That's your feature request. Okay, back up here again, running to my breakpoint. Something didn't work with that. Let me undo this. Let me hit my space bar here. All right. Oh, I think it did work. I think we just had a selection. That's why we got out. Okay. So what's our line text is equal to if. Our start offset is equal to 2. Our line offset rather is equal to 2. So that is where the caret is right now. In here. So now I want to say, I want to get the word to the left of the caret. That's what I want to do. Like that. Equals, and I'm just going to say get word left. And I'm going to pass in my line start index and my line offset. I think that's fair. All right, let's build that. Gets the word to the left of the specified line and offset. The index of the line to examine. And the offset on that line. The offset to start looking at on that line. Okay, let's rename these. Let's just call this offset and call this one line index right there. Okay, so now we've got to essentially grab the text and go backwards on it is what we have to do. It's just occurred to me, I've already got the line text here. Maybe throw that in instead of this. Let's add a parameter. Let's paste that in. and do that. Then let's get rid of this, I think, is what I want to do. Remove unused parameter line index. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. Like that. Okay, better. All right, so we saw, let's do RI gives me a result instance right there. Let's set it equal to a string.empty. S.e gets me string.empty. And now what I want to do is work my way backwards. So that offset, when we saw in the example here, let's come up here, set next statement. Now I'm going to work in this space here, go inside. So at index 0, I've got I, and at index 1, I've got an F. So if I want to start looking backwards at characters, I want to subtract 1 from offset to begin with. 0. Should I talk about this? Hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Hold on, bringing up PowerPoint. Okay, it's useful to talk about indexes, and it's also useful to talk about caret positions. So if I come in here and I say if, like this, let's change this to consolis, like that. Okay, so let's talk about indexes and caret positions, because I think it's just good to visualize this a little bit here. Let's pop this down around here. Let's do this. So this right here is index 0. Like that. And this over here is index 1. Okay. Now, if we're talking about caret positions, I'm going to throw caret positions down at the bottom here. Let's make these blue. And caret positions are going to look like this. Caret positions are not on a character, they're between the characters. Okay. Actually, I should have put a number underneath it. Let's do that. So this is at caret position 2. And that's caret position 1. That's caret position 0. So looks like we're blocked a little bit here. Let me get that unblocked for you. There you go. See what I'm writing over here. So caret positions are here. Character indices are here. Here. Let's do this. Let's give color meaning. Like that. Give it about a space and a half right there. So that's kind of what's going on. I think I want to do one more thing. And I want to come in here, create a dotted line. Dashed line. Just to kind of line these up right here. So it's very clear what we're talking about. And I feel like we've got a kind of a not bad, almost professional diagram right here. Let's do one other thing. Let's change this to just reach down to that character like that. Do the same thing like this. Okay. All right, character indices. Let's do one more thing here. Hold on. We don't need these to be so high. We can drop them down a little bit too, like that. All right. So we're coming in with a caret position here at 2 is what we're doing. So let's maybe change this right here and use the same kind of nomenclature that we're doing here in our diagram. So we're going to call this the caret position. Like that. And maybe, yeah, index, character index maybe. Because the index is definitely something that we pass in. So that's what we want to do. So we want to convert from a caret position to a particular character index to look at it. So if we're coming in at 2, we want to subtract 1 from that. That's kind of what's happening here. You know what I'm going to do, kids? I'm going to select all this. I'm going to group it. I'm going to copy this to the clipboard. See how well is this going to work without a white background specified. Is this going to be okay and work? Yeah, I need a white background on it. Let's get a white background behind it. All right, grab that, copy that, come back over here, paste it in a comment. There's CodeRush helping out. What's weird though, it seemed to get more. Is there something outside of it? Oh, sometimes I've seen it do this with really large fonts. Okay, no big deal. We can crop it. Nice. So here's a nice use of CodeRush's image embedding here. So we can come in and see what's going on, kind of documenting the code itself. So what we want to do is go from a caret position to a character index. So we'll come in here and we're going to say VI for a variable of type integer, character index is equal to caret position. Does it not like my rename up here? Because I already did edit and continue. That's what it's not liking. If I were to open the CS file in Notepad, what would I see there? Oh, you would see this line right here. Let me just open up Notepad for you. And I'll paste it in. That's what you'd see. Like that. So this is a, this could be, you know, any text you want here. That's like the, when you hover over it, the tooltip that shows. This is the reference to the PNG file. There are other parameters as well for scaling and for cropping. And so that's what's going on here. Yeah, it looks a little bit like that, doesn't it? So like if we take that, what I just did, and I bring it back in, we delete this line and paste in what I just edited, and I hover over it, we should see any text you want showing up here. There it is right there. So that text is there, or if you have an editor that doesn't have CodeRush, this is all part of CodeRush right here. It looks like I need to, unfortunately, I need to, I don't want to go, I'm going to need to shut down because it's, I made a change to the parameter and I want to keep it. So I'm going to kill the app and restart it because of this purple squiggly underline here. So character index is equal to character position minus 1. And now what's cool is now I've got this visual here that's showing me what's going on. I can also hide these two these two slashes right here just by putting a backtick right after them. If I put a backtick there like that and I move away, it'll hide both of those. It just looks like a regular document. So now I've got my character index, and now what I want to do is I want to start building my word. So I'm going to say something like while character index is greater than or equal to 0, do. Then I'm going to say result equals line text of character index plus result. I'm building it backwards, right? Like that. So while character index is greater than or equal to 0, I should also say and is word is legal word character, and pass that character in to this other function, which we'll write in a second. If that's the case on my result, I'm building it backwards, right? So I have to put the thing we just found at the beginning of it, and we have to increment character index. Okay, so not bad. Is legal word character. Let's build that. I'm going to go do another shortcut here. Exploit this new coders feature. I want something that does declare method instantly. That's what I want. So I'm going to take that to number 2. I think my num1 is this. I could just do this. Can I duplicate this? There it is right there. Duplicate shortcut. Duplicate that. Come up here. I'm going to hit number 2. Number 2 means declare immediately. And at least if it's a method. So I can at least invoke declare method. Like that. That's what my number 2 is going to be. So now if I'm here and I hit my 2, boom. Nice. Okay, so now what we want to do is say return value dot is. Do we have an is on it? No, it's going to be char dot is, right? Char dot is letter or digit value. That's what we're going to start with. We can come in later and modify this if we want to, but that's how we're going to start. And so we're basically going to the beginning of the line or until we find something that's not a legal word character, and we're building on result. And then we're returning the result. So now, let's get word left. Cool. Next we need to check to say, is it a template or not? And I think it looks like... I think I want to do if null, then return false right there. So word left of caret is null, then we're out. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to say get expansion. So this is going to be my template expansion for this piece right here. Expansion. Get template expansion like that. All right, let's declare that. Oh, geez, let's train me with the new feature. Here I got to hit num2 instead. Yeah, so much faster. So much faster. Oh, you're right. You're right, Codebase Alpha. Thanks so much for that. Is null or white space? Yeah, well, then we're out. And we're returning false. We're only going to return true if a template was found and expanded. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're getting expansion now. We're going to come in here, do the same INX right there. That template, that's going to get us this. If null, then we're exiting. But I guess we could do the same thing here. So TS gets me string, and dot gets me this. There we go. Null or white space. I'm going to add a new template. I want a new template that does this. Just go into templates. So normally I type in INX to get here. Let's look for INX. And you can also type in INR. INX is for me because I came from Delphi, which had exit instead of return. So I've been doing this for like 20 years here, even though I switched languages. This goes to INR. If I hold the control key and click on it, we can go and see that expansion. That's right here. I'm going to add a new template right now. Wait, what are my different options here? Oh, I've got a smart return option. Oh, it's just what's pasting. I see. Smart return, smart return. Okay. I think I want to come in here and I want to create duplicate. And I'm going to call this if null or white space return. INWR. Like that. And what happens if I come down here and I duplicate this? Is it going to notify, and I give it the same name? What's it going to do? INWR. Are you going to be smart enough, CodeRush, to give me a second one in here? You're not. It's not an alternate. That's a disappointment. Okay, let's document that because that's I'm going to call that a CodeRush issue. We're dogfooding CodeRush, kids. That's what we do here. All right, so here I am in INR. Notice it's got multiple alternate expansions. I really want a duplicate of all of them. I'm trying to right-click here to choose Create Duplicate, but when I do, it selects the one underneath. When I do that and I give it a name, INWR, it just keeps adding these other templates here. I want these templates to all be part of one. Move, can I move it in? Nah, I can't move it. It's just asking me, are you sure you want to move? But I really want it to be a single one with alternate expansions. That's what I want. But it's not allowing me to do it. It's doing this kind of thing where I've got multiple templates here that all have the same name. They have different contexts, but I really want to group them like this. That's what I'm looking for. Disaster of Puppets is with us. Hold on a second. Duplicating templates with alternate expansions produces, hey Fred, unexpected results. All right, there you go, kids. All right, so let's come in here. We're going to delete these, I think. At least the delete is working and only deleting that one as opposed to all of them with the same name. That's good behavior. Okay, now let's come back in. We're going to create a, actually it's fair. I can actually grab one of these and duplicate it. And then from there, I can create the alternate expansion. So INWR, there's my duplicate. Create alternate expansion. And then one more, create alternate expansion. Hey, look who's here, kids. It's flying in. Flying in a little bit low. This guy got a pilot's license. Jessam, I wish Pudding was here. I wish Pudding was here to see your example. Pudding is apparently not here. Pudding just comes in and he's like, my show. All right, let's take a look at the expansions here. We want them to be pretty similar is what we want. So the first one is paste. The second one is this. I'm going to copy this expansion for the second one. I'm going to paste it down in here for that. We're going to do the same with the third one. Copy that and come down and paste it for the third. Similarly, we're going to take the context for those. Copy that one. That's the third context. Paste it down here. And copy this context. Paste it in there. And the top one context has already been there from the duplication. Next, now what we want to do is we're basically saying if null or white space. So we want to come in and we want to say, hey, string dot is null or white space. That's what we want to do. And we want to do that. That's what we're looking for. I'm liking this template. I think this is going to be useful. Same thing here. If is null or white space. Like that. And then this one right here as well. If is null or white space. That's what I want. Feels like I lost my music. How did I lose my music? somebody turn the music off? I don't know. Let me see that. I'm not sure how I lost it. Okay. So now with expansion on the clipboard now, I should be able to come in here and say INWX. Well, R in this case, that's the one we just built. All right, let's create an alias for me because I like using that X to exit instead of return. Templates. INWR. And I just want to come in here and I want to say create an alias and call it INWX, like that. And so if we come in here, just look at the INWs, there we go. INWX just goes to INWR. One thing I do want to check though is I want to see what my INX alias looks like. It's got that context. I want to bring that over to my INR. I'm sorry, my INWX context. So it's just kind of a union. It's the context that's similar among all those pieces. So we're looking to say, hey, at least are we here? If we are, then we're going to look inside the alternate expansions. That's what's going on there. Okay. So now one more time, copy that. INWX. Good. Saves me a lot of time now. I've just done that. All right. Otherwise, now at this point, we're going to say return true. That we're not going to do it, and we're not going to expand anything yet, I guess. Or maybe we will. Yeah, let's do this. Let's say text box dot. Do we have an insert text? How do we get text in? Wait, I'm like in disbelief that there's not something starting with the word insert here. WPF text box. Add text or insert text. Let's look at insert text at caret position. I'm okay with that. Call insert on the text property. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to come in here, textbox.text.insert, the caret index, and the new text is going to be the word expansion. Can you bring that over here, please? A cute kid just comes in and holds this sign up here, which is backwards. Hold on, let me reverse. Can I reverse my me for a second? I think I can. Give me a second so it's easier for you guys to read this. Let me flip horizontal. That didn't flip. All right, well, it says, can you make fries soon? I promised one of the kids I'd make fries today for him. Yeah, I'm going to say kind of soon. Why don't you give me at least a half hour to wrap it up? Don't make that face. Good job giving me a thumbs up on the way out, though. I did like that. Okay, so let's see. This is the expansion. Normally, I don't write this much code during without being an edit continue because I really like having the data there. But I feel like we're kind of getting the code right, so I'm okay with it so far. Send fries over here soon. This is Codebase Alpha. Yeah, I'm totally into it. I'm keto, by the way, which means I'm not supposed to eat fries, but it's like the one thing I cheat at. So I'll cheat it and eat some French fries, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week at most, and maybe 1 time a week or less. A little bit less than that on average, like once every 8 days or something like that. So that happens sometimes. But that's my cheat. At least I'm not cheating with real sugary, densely sugary foods. 2 or 3 times a day, not a day, a week at most. I'll do it. The most I'll cheat on fries is I'll do it a week. I'll do something like that, fries, or I will do corn. I'll do corn chips sometimes because the guacamole here is really good. I'm in Costa Rica, kids. So there's my insert. The only thing we don't have is get template expansion, I think. And I think all I want to do here is I want to say, hey, look, if word to left of caret is equal to if, I'm just going to kind of hard code this for now. If it's equal to the word if, then I want to say, let's return if like this. Let's do one more thing. go into templates. Let's go look at the if template here, see what it looks like in CodeRush. Because guess what I want to do? I want to just simply copy that. I want that to be my expansion. By the way, selection increase for here works really well. There's selection increase, gets everything up inside. And I just want it to be like that. And then otherwise down here, I'm going to say return null. So there we go. Get template expansion is there. So now we've got code that I think if we type in the word if, it's going to, now one problem though, I just realized it's not, we don't have code that's deleting the template name to the left. We need to delete that. The text that was just typed in. But the return true from expand template should come out and say it's handled, which means the preview key should never hit. That's kind of what we're looking for here. So we've just started up. I'm going to initialize the player data. Okay, let's hide the scroll. Well, I should have hit it after switching. Now hide the scroll. Go out to the debug tab. All right, so now I want to come down here, type in if, and now if there's no breakpoints, what I'm expecting, is that thing still on the clipboard? Yeah, I'm expecting it to look like that. So I just pasted what was on the clipboard. When I hit the spacebar here, if our code is correct, I'm expecting it to go to that. We still, like I say, need to backspace up and delete those two right there. But let's try it. Space. Linux is out of range. 2. Oh, my bad. Let's set the breakpoint. Let's set the next statement here. Not going to do it. Really? The problem is right here. I need to go backwards, not forwards. Character index. Try again. Yeah, I really like being able to put images in the code when there's something visual that's kind of important, relevant. Let me bring that down a little bit more like that. Oh, interesting. Why didn't the line height on this change? Is it because we're in edit and continue because we're debugging right now? Okay, initializing player data. All right, clicking, getting over here, going to debug, message, on casting, mage hand, sorry, on casting, come down over here, type in if, space. Nothing happens. Wait, you can put images inline in code? Visibly twitching. We can. If you're in Visual Studio and you've got CodeRush loaded, you can. And if you want a free copy of CodeRush, let me know. And I will reach out to you and get you instructions for how you can get your copy of CodeRush. Since when is that a thing? That's CodeRush. Yeah, CodeRush can do that. So you want it? Do you have Visual Studio, my friend? Give me a second and I'll DM you. I'll send you a Twitch whisper over to you. And okay. Mr. Smoofy, you can get one too. Give me a second. Oops, looks like I hit the wrong button here. Mr. Smoofy. All right, Mr. Smoofy. There you go. Those are your instructions right there. Without CodeRush, how does this play? I'll show you. I'll give you 1 second. I'll show you that in a second. Let me just get the DM out to you as well. Visibly twitching. And there's your message as well. All right, let me, I got to make 2 notes here real quickly here to myself. So I just get you guys confirmation. Keep watching and you can win a car. That, you know, I'm not sure when we're going to give that car away. Actually, I said that like it was real. It's not. We're not giving away any car at all. I just want to make notes of both of you folks so that when you guys go in and reach out for your copy Code Rush, that they check the list and you guys are on the list. Wait, a new car? No, we don't give away a brand new car.
It's a brand new car!
No, it's not a brand new car. We're not going to do that.
You won!
There you go, you won. Let's get to a break point here. Let's see what's going on here with the code. You didn't win. There's no, I'm going to put the space bar there. All right, what's going on with the height of this? This is so weird how that height, there we go. Well, is that really what I wanted? I wanted to resize. Oh, I know what happened. I resized while I was running and it was locked, so it couldn't implement the change because the file was locked because I was running the app. That's what's going on there. So, so that's what's going on. All right, so let's see if we, let's run it. Let's, I want to see what is going on here. I want a breakpoint there. I want to hit the space bar now. Word to left of caret is what? I'm hovering over it, but there it is right there. It is the word if. Okay, good. Get template expansion. What's my expansion? Cool. If it's null or white space, we get out. So we're actually calling insert, putting it there. Why didn't we see it? Did it not work because I'm in an event handler? Because I'm kind of feeling like that's the problem. I'm feeling like if I put this in a timer, that we would ultimately come in and it would work if I just stuck a timer there. That's kind of what I'm seeing on this. That's what I'm kind of feeling. Let's do that, I guess. Yeah, it's totally saying, let's do this. Okay. So we kind of got some dispatcher timers here. We're going to have to shut everything down and bring it up. You sign it back to text box text. Oh, I didn't even check that. I shut everything down. It creates a new string which doesn't change it in place. Oh, that may be totally right. Let's see if that's the case, actually, because I would totally prefer that this works without any timer. Let's run it again. I think you might be totally right. And I was no, come on. Pudding. 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 Where's my show? Of course, it's just a string. Retro CRT's here. Working on my dance moves, kids. Let me initialize player data. Yeah, of course that's it. You know, when I read this, when I saw the code example, you know what I did? I imagined incorrectly. I was like, oh, how smart of them to create a really sophisticated text object on TextBox. It's almost comical what I was doing. Almost comical. Let's see. Debug. On casting. Come down here. If spacebar. So we're going to come in here and we're going to say TextBox text is equal to this. Well, actually, let's figure out the new result. we need to do a couple things, and we need to get the caret in the right place. So we need to delete the text to the left. So the caret index is going to be, I think we need a new int here. It's going to be called insertion point. And that's going to be equal to textbox.caretIndex minus word to left of caret, which I'm going to now rename to template. Okay? And it's minus template.length. Right there. That's my insertion point. Okay. Next, I want to come in here and I think I want to say, hey, it's equal to textbox text dot, and I want to say, is there a remove, a delete? I guess is it remove? Do I get parameters in there? Start index and count. So I'm going to remove from my insertion point, and the length of that is going to be my template.length. And then I'm going to call on that insert, which I think is on the clipboard. There we go. And my insert's also got to be at that same insertion point. The expansion. Yeah, Coding Gorilla, thanks so much for spotting that. That was like, that was you being way smarter and way more aware of what was actually going on than me. I try to be good, Coding Gorilla, but I'll never be as good as you. All right, so that is what I believe has a shot at working. Let's run it. Oh, look, it put it up here. Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, Mark.
My insertion point's wrong. What you got? Use replace instead of insert? I don't think that's going to work. Let's see. Will it? Oh, not allowed. I got a calculation problem here for my insertion point. Hold on, let's undo this. Spacebar again. No, that looks actually okay. That calculation looks right to me. Let's see what replace does. Yeah, that's not what I want. Replace isn't going to work. Yeah, if I have multiple ifs, that's exactly the problem. So I can't do that. What's going on with my insertion point? I don't understand. That calculation looks totally right to me. Why did it put it at the beginning? 238. So I'm removing starting the start at start index 238. 4.2, and that remove is going to give me that whole thing minus that, I'm pretty sure. Let's do that. Let's double check that. What's wrong with our logic here? Our logic feels right to me. Okay, so I've now removed my if. That's what's happened there. And just to confirm that, if I come in a separate line and I say, well, textbox.text, we've got the if here, I think. There's the if right there at the end. Okay, so there's that one, and this one has no if. So that part's good. What's happening here? Insert an insertion point. That totally looks right to me. And the expansion, let's add that on. Let's actually take the whole line. What do we got? Well, this is right. Why did it jump up to the beginning? Let's go back and look at it again. Now it works. Oh, but the caret did jump up here. Maybe there was some problem in the way we observe this. Okay, the last thing we need to do is get the caret in the right insertion point. So let's do our breakpoint again. Come back over here, space bar, and then we're going to say textbox dot caret index is equal to insertion point. No, insertion point plus expansion.length. Because we want it at the end of the expansion. And that's what we need for now, but we also need to add a to-do, look for our caret positioning. Look for caret or cursor, something like this. Like that. When you change text part, the caret jumps back to the top. Yep. Yeah, common issue. Yeah, I totally believe that. This, I think, is going to fix that. I'm hoping that puts it right at the end of the line. Let's see what happens if we run it. Nice. So that's not bad. I really want it here. And I want that thing removed. Is what I really, really want. Let's try and figure that out. How much time do I have? I got about 15 minutes. So here we go. If space gets me there. All right, so we have a crude rudimentary template expansion. Similarly, we can, just to demonstrate this, we could do a, let's do one more in here just to show this. Now these are all in code, but we're gonna move these over to another place. If I do a /M like this, and then I hit the space bar, I want something that looks, I wanna add another template here. Oh, got a perf issue here. I'm gonna report it. Give me a sec. Whoops, that's the wrong place. I didn't want that there. All right, guys, I was right here, and I think I hit enter. Yeah, I can't duplicate it. You're gonna have to roll back about 30 seconds to when just before I said I have a perf issue here. Take a look at the log files, see what they show. I'd come in here, I hit enter, and I was waiting just a little too long on that. So that's during edit and continue. Performance issue. There you go. Just take a look at that. All right. So I'm going to say now if I get a /M, then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say Mark was here. Like this, in a comment. Like that. Okay, just adding a second one there just to show that we have kind of some control over what's happening here. Didn't quite look right what happened. Let's try it again. /M. Why is that not working? Oh, because guess what? That is not a template letter word. It's legal character. So we're gonna need to add that. So let's do it. So we're gonna say if that or value equals like that. Okay, there we go. So now cool, we have a /M, gives me that. And now if space gives me that. Good, already getting better. Now we got to figure out how to look for these special words and get the caret in the right spot. It's a little tricky. I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do it here in the text box. The way, I don't remember how we use a variety of techniques to solve problems like this in the CodeRush template engine inside of Visual Studio. One of the techniques is we do things in pieces, right? Where we say, okay, let's add this code to here. When we get to that thing, let's find out where we are. And then let's go on and do the, and then let's mark the point. Then let's add the rest of the code, then go back to the point as an example. Sometimes we'll do something like this where we'll put a comment out in the code with some text in it, you know, whatever that is, you know, marker or something along those lines. And we'll do that because with some languages, the formatting will radically change things. Like it might say, especially if the marker was like here, and the language reformatter did this or did that, one of the two different things, right? What that allows us to do is do an expansion, call the language reformatting, and then come in and finally replace that with an actual marker, the thing we want to do. Okay, so our goal now is to get rid of the word cursor, And the proper term is actually caret, so we should fix that and change that as well. And just expand to here. So we've got the caret inside. Let's work on that. And I got 10 minutes to make that work. See if we can do that. I'm not sure if we can do it or not, because quite honestly, I haven't really figured it out. If we're only going to support one of these, it's not hard to do, I think. Let's kind of write the code here and later refactor it. That's what I think I want to do. Yeah, if we only have to support caret position, like I said, I want it to be crude. I think we can do this fairly quickly. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you 100% on that visibly twitching. Remove, move, caret. Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% with you. That's what we're going to do. So we'll do that crude approach now. The problem is that once we have a whole bunch of these and we have to do things, then the calculations get more complex. Okay. So let's come back in here. Let's expand our if, like that. Let's create a new constant of type string. So QS, by the way, folks are just getting Code Rush. Templates like QS, expand Q means constant, S means string, gets me something like this. So I can say this is going to be our caret. I guess I'm okay with that for now. And let's come down in. Did I have it on the clipboard? Yeah, but I'm going to change it from cursor to caret. That's the proper term. And let's come down here. Like that. Okay, good. The readability is now looking way better on this. So now in our expansion, if expansion dot contains caret, whoops. So if the expansion contains the caret, then let's declare like a final insertion point offset. So normally we're going to go at the end of the template. We're going to put the caret out the end. Let me just run this for now because I think it compiles just to demonstrate what's happening here. Clear that breakpoint for a second. All right, so if I come in here and I type in if, run it. All right, so it goes to there and the caret's at the end of the expansion, right? It's out over here. That's where the caret is. So what I want to do is I want to basically say, how far to the left of this thing do I need to go? That's what I'm looking for. So let's do that. I just need to, so my offset is final insertion point offset. This is going to be like a negative number is what it's going to be. So let's set a breakpoint. Come back in here. If spacebar. Let's set this equal to 0 for now. If it contains it, then what I want to do is I want to say expansion dot everything after the caret. Everything after is a is an extension method that we created for strings. Text after caret. Equal to that. And then we want to say final insertion point offset equals negative text after caret dot length. Okay, so that's just going to get us that, you know, that closing paren. We'll be able to go backwards from that. Then we want to say expansion dot, I could do replace. It's kind of easier to read. And pass in caret and pass in string.empty. So assuming there's only going to be one caret, which really that's the only thing that's allowed there, we can say expansion is equal to expansion.replace. So now, expansion length here for caret index is going to push that over, and then we're going to just come in and say plus this. I think that might be all the code we need. I think it might actually work. So I'm just going to run it. Look at that. I think it worked. So we type in /m, Mark was here, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to say if space nice. All right, I'm going to call that a show, kids. Go make my kids some fries. Let's see who we can rate out to you. Had a great time today, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. Let's send you over to JitterTech. A lot of good folks are streaming right now, by the way, on the Live Coders team. So, but tell JitterTech I said hi. And yeah, thanks for showing up. Disaster Puppets is out there. Mr. Smoofy, visibly twitching. Check your DMs, your Twitch DMs. You'll see 2 DMs from me and 2 whispers, and you can follow those instructions to get your download instructions for Code Rush. And show up and ask questions about it anytime. And we'll see you later. Wait, why did my raid go? Did the raid work? Looks like maybe my raid didn't work. Start raid. Maybe I missed a step here. Let's try one more time. Yeah, Miss Smoofy says, thank you. You're welcome. Why is my raid? Oh, there's the raid right there. Raid now. See you, kids.